So we're doing Grihini Gunaha. Let's just story up. Shared this, okay. Brahmanda Chhatradandaha. Brahmanda Chhatradandaha Shatadhriti Bhavanam Bhoruho Naladandaha Kshoni Naukupadandaha Ksharadamara Sarit Pattika Ketudandaha Jyotish Chakrakshadandaha Tribhuvana Vijayastambha Dandongri Dandaha Shreyas Traivikramaste Vitaratu Vibudha Dveshinam Kaladandaha. We saw two paragraphs. I think we finished with the description of the lady here. So Shaktikumāra goes to one girl's house where she is living just with her nurse or with her nanny, and the parents are also gone. The house is in a very dilapidated condition. The wealth is gone. Clearly the house shows that the wealth is completely gone, and she is trying to manage somehow, trying to make ends meet here. Right? So he looks at her lakshanas and decides that, okay, this is a worthy person. Seyam akritihi na vyabhicharati sheelam. This sort of an akriti, this sort of a form should definitely coincide with a good character. So his mind is immediately attracted towards that girl. Asajjati cha me hridayam asyameva tat parikshayenam udvaheyam. So let me first examine her, test her, and then I will marry her, because it has been said. At 18 years, look at the way he approaches the situation. Avimarishya-kārinām hi niyatam anekaha anushaya paramparaha patanti. So he will definitely, if I don't think and do, then definitely I will end up in regrets. So snigdha drishtihi acheshta. His refrain to every girl is that he has to ask, can you make a good meal out of this? One shaliprastham. Shaliprasthena anena sampannam aharam. That shaliprasthamங்கிறது ஷேர சதுரம்னு போட்டிருப்பா. ஷேர நம்ம தமிழ்ல ஒரு ஷேரும்போ, படி ஷேர் மரக்கா இதெல்லாம் வந்து மெஷர்ஸ் இல்லையா? அதுல வந்து 4 ஷேருங்கிறது, அதாவது இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிறது பெரிய டபரா எடுத்துக்கோங்க, அதுதான் ஒரு ஷேர் மாதிரி. அதுல 4 ஷேர் அரிசி, 650 grams. ஆஹாரம் அஸ்மானு அப்யவஹாரயிதும். Is it possible for you to do this? Provide me with a good food அப்படின்னு கேக்குறா. ததஹா தயா விருத்ததாசி சாகூதம் ஆலோகிதா. தயா கன்யயா Vriddha Dasi, the Dasi who was, Bhatri ityuktam purvam, she was looked with a Sakutam. Akuta inge vandu, with something in mind, she looked at the Dhatri. So Akutam, as if to suggest something significantly. Adna Akutam, Sakuta. Akutena saha. Vriddha Dasi alokita taya. The Dasi was looked at suggestively. So tasya hastat. She will not take it from the boy's hand. She asked the Dhatri, Dasi, to take the grains from his hand. So, tasya hastat, prasthamatram dhanyam adaya, kvachit alinda uddeshe susikta samrishta dattapada shaucham upaveshayat. Tasya hastat, from his hand, prasthamatram dhanyam adaya, Vriddha Dasi idu. Apranda Sakanya. So until this Upaveshayat, it is the Dasi who is making the boy sit down in a thinna. Alinda Uddeshe. Alinda Uddesham is actually Dwara Samipa Pradeshe ityuktam. Right? So, I just wanted to bring up that document also, where each one is
the picture document. Very nice. It's exactly like my house.
So Dwara Deshe Samipe. Ingiye vandu kaala lamba vidradhu. Usually when you come in and people you don't want to let them inside, then you can actually ask them to wash their legs in this place itself and then ask them to sit here. Sila samayam ennanna, It can be a portion immediately inside also. முத்தத்துக்கு பக்கத்துல இருக்கலாம். இங்க திண்ணைங்கிற அவசியம் இல்ல. He may be sitting here in the திண்ணை as he comes in the outside courtyard. Then you go in, there is a small passage here. So I think this is like the kitchen here. So there should be a small passage here. அதுக்கப்புறம் ரேடி உள்னு ஒண்ணு இருக்கும். ரேழி உள்ள முத்தம், முத்தத்துக்கு பக்கத்துல ரேழி உள்ளுங்கிறது வந்து it is just the first room that you allow the guests to lie down also.
It'll be right in front of the door itself, very close to the door.
So from the door,
also the lamp, the Dehi lamp will be there.
பெரை தானே சொல்றேன். அது இங்க இருக்கும். So this small place is the பெரை where you keep the lamp. தீபக அலங்காரத்துக்கு எக்ஸ்பிளைன் பண்ணோம். அந்த பெரையில வைக்கிற வழக்கு அதுதான் தீபக அலங்காரம், which will light both inside and outside. So this passageway which leads to a sunroof kind of thing, which is called muttam, where you can make the guest wash their legs and then sit beside that place. அது அலிந்த தேசம். So it can also be that, or it can be in a thinna open இருக்கிறதுனால she may not serve food there. Sometimes she could, but there could also be another place inside where she would have served the food. Aduk somme. Okay.
The only thing missing in that picture is the red and white semman pusi.
Correct.
அது dilapidated houseங்கிறதுனால கொஞ்சம் தேடி புடிச்சு பழசா இருக்கிறது.
Okay.
Perfect ஆயிடுதா.
கோலம் இல்ல வீட்ல, எனக்கு ஆனா பிக்சர் கிடைக்கல கோலத்தோட.
Okay.
என்ன ஏழ்மையில இருந்தா கூட கோலம் போட்டிருப்போம் கண்டிப்பா, இல்லாம இருக்காது. But I couldn't get a picture. Sorry.
No, that's okay. Something to have an idea about what it is. So tasya hastat prasthamatram dhanyam adaya. He is probably outside where we showed right now, and then having taken it from his hand, dhanyam adaya, kvachit alinda uddeshe, somewhere nearby the door. So on the mittam and then pakkathula or edathla where he can sit down. Su sikta samsrishte alinda deshe, alinda uddeshe. So this is an adjective to alinda uddesham. Susiktam jalena sheetalikritam. It was well drenched, that place, so that she can provide yala potu abde pandrathukaga, and it is also nicely washed. Shuddhikritam samrishte. Samrishte alinda uddeshe. Uddesham is usually pradesham. So alinda here is dwaram. அந்த நிலத்தடி பக்கத்திலேயே உங்களுக்கு வந்து ஒரு இடம், அதை சொல்ற. தத்த பாத சௌச்சம், having provided பாத சௌச்சம், water to clean his legs. கால அலம்பிண்டு உள்ள உட்காரணும். That is the moral, yeah. So you wash your legs and then sit down for eating. Right before you eat, you wash your legs. After eating also you wash your legs. That's the
hands and legs. Yes.
So sa kanya Tan Gandhashalina Sankshudya. While the Dasi was, providing water for him to wash his legs and all that, Sakanya, the lady, the girl, Tana Gandhashalina Sankshudya, Matraya Vishoshya Atape, Muhurmuhu Parivartya, Sthira Samayam Bhumo Nali Prishtena, Mridu Ghattayanti, Tushaihi Akhandaihi Tandulana Pritakchakara. While this was happening on one side, Sakanya, the girl, Tan Gandha Shalin. Shali, the grains were Gandha, or Vasanaya irukkum. Nellu eppume or nalla vasanaya irukkum. So it must have been, and Gandha Shali also refers to or nalla jati, arisi. It was a good variety of grain. Tana Sankshudya, having washed it, actually, washed na varnod. குட்டைத்துவானா அத வந்து இது பண்ணிட்டுங்கற
ஹஸ்க் டிஹஸ்க்
அது அப்புறமா கட்டயந்தி பிருதக்சகார is different. So first வந்து what she does is புடைக்கிறது, அதுதான் வந்து சங்க்ஷுத்யான்னு இருக்கணும். புடைக்கிறதுக்கு அந்த மொரத்தை யூஸ் பண்றோம் இல்லையா, அதுதான். உங்களுக்கு தெரியும் அதெல்லாம். I think
it is very Kaveri. It is very Kaveri Desham, so definitely
so
the
this
rice
one
will be fragrant.
Yeah. Fragrant rice. Ama. அது வந்து ரொம்ப காவேரி பக்கத்துல இந்த அரிசி நன்னாவே இருக்கும். Yeah. So this is actually the next portion. அந்த இந்த இது இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுதான் இந்த ஆக்சுவலி குட்டையந்தி இது இல்ல. முதல்ல என்ன பண்றாங்கிறது புரியணும். வரேன் ஒரே நிமிஷம். So first இடிக்கிறது தான். So sankshuddhya is kuttayitva, having struck on it. Pounding. Rice pounding is done in that small ஒரு bowl இருக்கும் இல்லையா, vessel. அதுல வச்சு பண்றது. So gandhashalini sankshuddhya, having pounded the rice with the with whatங்கிறது அப்புறம் தான் சொல்லு. ஓ இதுல போடல. நாலி பிருஷ்டேன மிருது மிருது கட்டயந்தி Sthirasamayam bhumau. Again, afterwards, she takes it out and then with the pestle, she keeps hitting it on the ground a little bit. So, inge first vandu sankshuddhya, she pounds it inside that mortar. Adikapram, mortar. Matraya vishoshya atape. Matraya is slightly drying it in the heat, atape, in the sun's heat. So when you dry it, she has washed it, or it is still a little, probably as you hit it, you have to dry so that the husk inside will separate from the grains. And you have to be very patient with this if you want the husk also intact and you want the grains also intact. If you are a little careless with this entire process, then you will be left with the noyi, adhaadu broken rice, broken rice, and the husk will also be completely pudi aidum. Then it is not useful. I'll tell you why. Because she needs the husk completely intact. So matraya, slightly, ever so slightly, vishoshya atape, atape vishoshya, having dried it in the sun's heat, muhurmuhu parivartya. Muhurmuhuna tirpi, again and again she comes and perati podradhu. Adukku enna solradhu, turn it over. Yeah, you have to constantly, if you are drying it a little in the sun, you have to come and turn it over again and again. So muhurmuhu parivartya is turning them over so that the underside is also equally dried in the sun. And then sthira samayam bhumau, on a firm and sama level ground, she used a nali prishtam. Nali here refers to the pestle, and the pestle வந்து முசலன்னு சம்ஸ்கிருதத்துல சொல்லுவோம், ரைட்? அந்த முசலபாணிஹி இது பலராமஸ்ய நாமா. So அவருக்கு ஆயுதம் முசலம். So nali prishtena, with the backside of that pestle, mridu ghattayanti, she slowly would rub that gently with the back of the pestle. She would rub them gently so that the husks got separated from the grains. Tandulana prithakchakara, she separated the tandula grains from the tusha, from the husk. Akhandaihi, which is still remaining intact, which is not become powder. So the husk have to remain full, so that, or at least semi-full, the grains should come and the husk should be in a visible manner. You should be able to identify it. Tadrisha rupena prithakchakara. Then what did she say? Jagadacha dhatrin mataha ebihi tushaihi arthinaha bhushana mrija kriya kshamaihi swarnakaraha. Ebihi tushaihi arthinaha kesanti swarnakaraha. Swarnakaraha, the goldsmith, have a use for this. They want this husk because they use it to, and the gold idu pandrache ava vandu inda umi avalukku theva. They use that husk for making ornaments. So this is of use when they have to, and the kutti chulli ava vandu idu pannuva illaya, light pannuva. So they will use a small stove kind of thing for which they can't use big sticks as fuel there. So for them this umi, the husk becomes like a fuel for those goldsmiths. So the goldsmiths, and they also use this umi idu vandu to clean the jewelry. Ipo நம்ம brasso gisolam podromla, so silver, whatever, pitambari, that kind of, they use the husk to clean the jewelry really well. Adula potu perattuva, Peretina odane and the impurities will be gone. Outside it will become very shiny. So bhushana mrija kriya kshamaihi ebihi tushaihi. With these the swarnakaraha arthinaha, the goldsmiths are in need, arthinaha are in need of this husk, ebihi tushaihi, which is kshama, which is capable, which is very useful in the cleaning process, mrija kriya of the ornaments. Sure. तेभ्यः इमान् दत्वा, तेभ्यः स्वर्णकारेभ्यः इमान् दत्वा, इमान् तुषान् दत्वा. You give these, sell it to them and then get some money from them. Iman Dattva, having given these husks to the Swarnakara, to the goldsmiths, Labdabihi Kanikabihi, they will in turn give you some Kanika. Kanika. Kanika is a gold, gold kudalla. It can be, sorry, Kakini. Sorry, na enna padikiren parunga. Kakini. Kakini is a kind, is the name given to the coins. It is copper coins or something. Actually, Google, I was just generally searching and all that. What is this Kakini? Pallava Rajyathula இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு நேம் இருக்கிறாப்ல தெரியல. Daṇḍin was there during Mahendra Pallava's time, who built after the 2-3 kings after the Narasimha Pallava who built Mahabalipuram. He was in
but
the.
What
he was
is
during
Pallava Rajyam will not be Kaveri Pradesham.
இல்ல they moved இல்லையா? காஞ்சி அவளுக்கு வந்து இதுவாச்சே அப்புறமா
capital, but Kaveri Pattinam is what is this thing is happening.
But ஆனாலும் இந்த காக்கினிங்கிறது இல்ல.
No, sorry,
I'm talking about the author.
Tanjavur. Yeah. Author belongs to Pallava. This story is happening in Delta region.
Tanjavur.
Delta region, ஆமா. ஆனா இந்த காக்கினிங்கிறது வேற ஏதோ ஒரு டைனாஸ்டிஸ் இதுன்னு சொல்றா. Coin solra. So it is just some kind of a copper coin which was used as a currency in those times. So kakinihi labdabihi kakinibihi, with the price or with the coins that you get, what you have to do is sthiratarani anati ardrani nati shushkani kashtani mitam pacham sthalim ubhe sharavecha ahara. She probably did not have serving vessels here. All different types of serving vessels. She might have sold them as and when need arose, and she would have probably, nothing would have been there. So, Tebhyaha imana dattva, having given this husk to them, labdabihi kakinibihi, with the copper coins that you get from them, buy some ahara, bring. What do you have to bring? Sthiratarani anati ardrani. Sthiratarani, firm. Adadu uluttu poirka kodadu. It should not be termite ridden. Then it will not be firm. Right? Upon touch, it should not break. So sthiratarani anati ardrani. It should not be too wet also. So nati shushkani. It should not be too dry also. Appo it should be just about right for it. ஓரளவுக்கு ஈரப்பசையும் இருக்கணும், ஓரளவுக்கு அதுல வந்து காஞ்சும் இருக்கணும். The outside should start burning very quickly, and then the inside there should be a little bit of wetness there, so that it takes a longer time to heat up. You understand? If it is very dry, then it won't last. If it is very wet, you can't build a fire.
Smoky.
It'll be smoky. So you need something in between so that it starts off a good fire, but at the same time it is long lasting also. See how intelligent she is. So evam kashtani, some wood pieces, mitam pacham sthalim, a small patram, sthali, which will be useful only for cooking for one person. So mitam pacha sthali. Sthalim, mitam pacham sthalim is a cooking vessel of a small measurement, and ubhe sharave, 2 plates. Sharava here, you take a pot, and the pot on the mela vettidungo. Adila, the bottom portion of the pot is like a plate, or you can think of it as if you have a mud pot, there will be a plate with which you can cover the top of the water pot. That is called a sharava. So 2 small plates also, you bring those 2 plates. That is, you have to buy with this money. So with the
money
grains,
you get by selling the husk.
Selling the husk, you will have to get these things now. Okay.
The sharava is not a bowl, it's a plate.
And the plate kind of platter,
hollow plate, maybe like a hollow plate.
கொஞ்சம் ஒரு விளிம்பு இருக்கும், ஒரு இதுவா இருக்கும். Think of it as the bottom portion of a pot without the top portion. Just ஒரு இந்த பவுல் மாதிரி, ஆனா அது இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் பிளேட் மாதிரி வச்சு சாப்பிடுறதுக்கு. Okay. Yeah, so you can make a note of these. I'll probably send the
we
PDF
can
of the
watch it
slides.
and then make a note.
Yeah, that also you can do. Correct. You can watch it and do it. Tatha krite taya tan standulan anati nimna. Tatha krite taya tan standulan anati nimna uttana vistirna kukshau kakubha ulukale lohapatra veshtita mukhena समशरीरेण विभाव्यमान मध्यतानवेन व्यायतेन गुरुणा खादिरेण मुसलेन चतुर ललित उक्षेपण अवक्षेपण आयासित भुजम् असकृत अंगुलीभिः उद्धृत्य the whole thing is one sentence here. अवहत्य शूर्प शोधित कण किंशारुकान् तण्डुलान् असकृत अद्भिः प्रक्षाल्य क्वथित पंचगुणे जले चुल्ली पूजा प्राक्षिपत. So tata krite taya, when she had done this, I think taya tata krite dasya tata krite, when the dasi took the husk and went away and she went to buy all the pots and whatever, she was doing the rest of the work here. Tan standulan, now she took those grains which would still have a little bit of it is unpolished rice, it is completely unpolished, so you can't do polishing at home. So what you have to do is still further you have to make it clean. அதாவது ஒட்டின் இருக்கிற சிலது எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்தாகணும் இல்லையா? So she has to clean it up really well. For that, before doing the cleaning, she has to strike it with the pestle now and then clean it up. So now what she does is tan standulana musalena khadirena musalena. Khadira is a kind of wood and this is a musala, heavy pestle made up of khadira. Khadira could mean I think and the karjurathukku khadiramnu solluvalam theriyala.
கருங்காலியா?
கருங்காலி இருக்கலாம். கரெக்ட். ஆமா, காதிர வந்து கருங்காலியா இருக்கும். கருங்காலினால தானே அந்த they make all those big furnitures really it'll last long. So khadirena musalena, a musala pestle that has been made with the wood of khadira, guruna, which is also very heavy, vyayatena, it is quite I think it is long also. Vibhavyamana madhya tanavena, it is easy to note that it is very thin in the middle, it is very heavy, it is slender in the middle portion so that you can hold it. If it is too wide, you can't hold it with 2 hands or even with 1 hand. It should be thin in the middle portion where you can hold it with the hand. So vibhavyamana madhya tanavena, it is vibhavyamana, it is noticeable because by its middle portion, madhya tanavam, tanoho bhavaha tanavam. So madhya bhagaha madhyasya tanavam, madhyasya tanavena vibhavyamana abdi. So or vibhavyamanam madhyasya tanavam yasya tat musalam tena. This is an adjective to the musala here. Samasharirena, at the same time it is also evenly shaped with just the middle portion a little bit slim to hold. Lohapatra veshtita mukhena, the musala also இரும்புல பூம் போட்டிருக்கும்பா. The top portion is made of wood. It cannot be wood inside because the wood is porous. So as you hit with the pestle, with a wooden pestle, then since it is porous, any moistness or the grains can get stuck into that, and it will wastage nariya irukum. You don't
Also,
want
the
wastage.
wooden part also might break off and get mixed up into what you're pounding.
What you're pounding, correct. So that's why you need something heavier and something which will not easily break. So loha patra is iron. Veshtita mukhena. So the mukham, the front portion of that musala, the pestle, is being covered by loha patram or iron. Tadrisha musalena kutra tans tandulana இதுதான் இங்க இல்லையா தண்டுலான musalena avahatya. Okay, that is where the connection is. So having struck the grains, tandulan avahatya. Katham avahatya? Musalena udritya avahatya. She angulibihi udritya. She takes it so many times with her fingers and then she drops it. இது வந்து ஒரே நிமிஷம்.
Because it will come out of that mortar and splatter around. So you need to gather and
it should also get evenly done. Mela matram kuttindrundomna it is not possible. Every grain should be there. So you have to udritya. You will have to take it out and then mix it up. So tatha angulibihi, she kept mixing it up. முதல்ல அந்த பாத்திரத்தை வர்ணிக்கலையே, அதாவது the mortar. Anati nimna uttana vistirna kukshau kakubha ulukale. This is in Saptami Vibhakti. So inside the mortar, kakubha ulukala, which is made up of wood. And the big mortar and pestle ஒரு இது பார்த்தோம்ல photo நல்லா இருந்தது. This is the one, but this is kallural. இது கல்லு. This should be iron pestle with a stone. You have a wooden basin. The base is wooden, and then the striking thing rod is also wood, and it will have an iron underneath in the bottom. Probably it is here. Idu iyandram. This is also stone, but this is a wooden. The stock is wooden. That is what we need with the iron in the bottom base.
Correct. Only in the bottom.
Idudha. Okay. So anati nimna, that should not be too depressed. Adhaadu too much space should not be there within it. And that pestle, mortar. The mortar which is not too deep, anati nimna, uttana is, it is I think spacious nanikkaren. Uttanamna wide irukkanum nanikkaren. So anati na ati nimnam. Ati nimnam would be very deep. Anati nimnam is not too deep. Uttana, as it goes up, it is an open mouthed. Uttana, urdhva mukha. And vistirna, it is also wide on the top. Kukshina, it is like the stomach. So kukshina, the inner portion of the mortar is made up of kakubha ulukhala. It is an ulukhalam. It is a mortar which is made up of kakubha. Kakubha nalum kashta. Actually, very interesting thing is, when you look at the paryaya padam for dik, directions, prachi dik, paschami dik, east, west and all, the both these words kakub and kashta would be there. Ana, they are both referred to wood also. என்ன ஒரு இதுன்னு தெரியல, coincidence. Anyway, it has been made
depending on the kind of trees that go, they used to use it. Okay, that is the direction, east direction.
அப்படி இல்லையே, ககுபங்கிறது மருது மரம். இட்ஸ் அர்ஜுனா மருது இருக்கு இல்லையா, அதுதான். So kakuba ulukale in a mortar which is made up of wood, which has a hole, kukshi, which is anati nimna, not very deep, uttana, facing upwards, and vistirna, it is also wide. In that mortar, tandulana avahatya, she puts the grains inside and breaks it or hits it, strikes it, having stirring it, taking it up and up with her fingers. Asakrita, many times she puts her fingers inside before striking, and then she mixes it up so that all of the grains can evenly be struck upon. Ukshepana avakshepana ayasita bhujam yatha syat tatha udritya. How does she take the grains out of the mortar and switches it up? Ukshepana pushing it up. Avakshepana, putting it down. Ayasita bhujam, her arms are, idu can refer to the musalam, the way she lifts up the pestle and drops it down into the mortar. That action could also be described here. So ukshepana, avakshepana, pulling it up and putting it down, throwing it up and throwing it down. Apdi kshepana is always throwing. So ukshepana, the movement lepdina, they won't hold
because
on to it.
Because they will let go of that hand also. That is why it's shepana.
Yes.
You have to totally let go of
the pestle. You should not hold on to it and do it. Illana romba kai valika arambichirum. Idukke her bhujam is ayasitam. Her arms were fatigued. They were tired in a manner in which her arms were fatigued because she was moving it up and down many times. Asakrita. Vandurtha?
There's no song for it to sing.
இதுல இருக்கு, அது ஏதாவது இருக்குமா இருக்கும். ஊர் பக்கம் கேளுங்க, நமக்கு என்ன தெரியும்.
திருவாச்சகத்துல இருக்கு இந்த பொற்சுண்ணம்னு, இந்த சுவாமிக்கு இந்த மருந்து இடிக்கிறதுன்னு, லைக் மெனி உமன் இந்த உலக போடுறது மாத்தி மாத்தி போடுவா போல் இருக்கு. நாட் ஒன் பர்சன், மாத்தி. சோ ஃபார் தி சாங் இஸ் தேர் பகினி. பட் நாட்டுப்புற பாட்டு ஐ டோன்ட் நோ.
நாட்டுப்புற பாட்டு அவவா பாடுறதுதான். திருவாச்சகத்துல இருக்கா?
ஆனா சுவாமிக்கு மருந்து இடிக்கிறது நாட் வீட்டுல அடிக்கிறது.
அதே வீட்டுல பாடினா என்ன இப்போ ஒண்ணும் இல்ல, நல்லது
பாடலாம்.
இது மாதிரி
போடணுமே, அது தெரியாது.
நான் பண்ணிருக்கோம் ரொம்ப சின்ன வயசுல.
நம்மலாம் ஒரு கல்ச்சரல் டூர் பண்ணிட்டு இந்த சான்ஸ்கிரிட் இது போட்டு இந்த எல்லாம் வீடியோ போடுறாளே, கண்ணா பின்னான்னு எதுக்குலாமோ வீடியோ இருக்கு. நம்ம உருப்படியா வீடியோ போட்டு நம்ம போய்
शूर्प शोधित, இதுதான் முறம். शूर्प शोधित कण किंशारुकानु. Kimsharuka is the remaining husk that is there. பொடைக்கணும். அதை வச்சு you have to use a shurpa. Shurpa is that அந்த மொரத்தை வச்சுண்டு, அதுக்கு பேர் என்னமா?
winnowing pan.
winnowing pan.
winnowing
basket. ஆமா, அதுதான். So winnow. And with that basket, shurpa shodhita kana kimsharukana tandulana asakrita adbihi prakshalya. So then she washes the grains with water again and again. Those grains whose kimsharuka, adavadhu the remaining husk, kimsharukaha shodhitaha yesham te tandulaha. So this is an adjective to the tandula, right? So shurpena shodita kana kimsharukaha yasmin or yesham or yesho tana tandulana asakrita adbihi prakshalya. So she washes repeatedly, having washed it in water, the rice which she has removed the remaining husk, smaller particles of husk, which are shodhitana, actually shodhitamna removed and eduthukalam, cleaned up rice. Ama shodhitana cleaned up using a shurpa.
It is asakrit adbihi or sakrit adbihi?
Asakrit dane.
Book has sakrit adbihi, that's why I wanted to.
அப்படியா? இதுதான் winnow, இந்த மொரத்தை வச்சுட்டு பண்றது. டெக்ஸ்ட்ல பாக்குறேன், ஒரு நிமிஷம்.
Sakrit adbihi prakshalya is what is there in the
இல்ல தண்டுலான் அசக்ரித் பிஹி சேர்ந்துதான் இருக்கு. அசக்ரித் அத்பிஹி,
தண்டுலான் கமா சக்ரித் அத்பிஹி
வேண்டாம், மாத்திக்கோங்க.
ஓகே.
ஒரு முறை வாஷிங் is not done because it is wrong.
Okay.
You wash once for aparakaryam or twice for aparakaryam. Something like that is there. Okay.
Okay.
You wash it many times,
Many
or you
times.
can wash it 2-3 times. That is fine. But you wash it once, more than once. Adu undu. Kvathita panchagune jale datta chulli puja prakshipat. Datta chulli puja, having performed the chulli puja na, and the aduparekki or puja pannanom. You have to do a small puja for the chulli. Chulli here is the stove. So having performed a puja for the stove, and then she poured it into 5 times the quantity of the boiling water. So the rice is so much, she does 1:5 water. Kvathita here is the water in which the rice has to boil. Arishi kanji pandradhukku. The shatootham irukum illaya, adu to get the rice water, you need 5 times the water. Adupula pandriche eppume cooker you take only 1:2, 1:3 depending on the type of rice. All that is there for us. But then if you are doing it olela vechu pandradhukku, you need 5 times the water if you are directly cooking on stuff without pressure cooker. So kvathita panchagune jale, in 5 times the its quantity. Kvathitam here is atishayena ushnikritam, so that which is boiling.
So she didn't put it in cold water, she put it into the boiling water.
Yes,
already water was boiling,
and already the water is 5 times the quantity of the rice. So, and it was also boiling. Tadrishe jale datta chulli puja prakshipat. She after worshipping the stove, she put the rice in it.
She'll put some kolam and all for the
adu undu. Adu eppume night o illana potu vechiduvom. You wash all your stove and then you put kolam on that and then done. But then if you have seen, people who are great chefs or people who start off bhakshanam, especially during this is winnowing. Idu irukku chulli puja. So the kolam potu pandrathu, right? Deepavali bhakshanamlam pandrache adu matram illa, anything there. I know of people who do this every time. They start oru darva, you do one small prayer and then you start the switch on the stove.
Great chefs.
Yeah. Prashlatha avayaveshu prasphuratsu tanduleshu mukula avastham ativartamaneshu sankshipya analam upahita mukha vidhanaya sthalya annamandam agalayat. Shatootham edutha. Annamandam engiradhu the water. The mandamna and the mela modakkaradu illaya, ada solranga. Prashlatha avayaveshu, when the grains of the rice have become loose. When the grain is in its raw stage, it is very firm. As it cooks, it will become loosen and it will roll, swollen up.
And swollen.
Swollen. So prashlatha avayaveshu prasphuratsu tandushu, it becomes very shiny. And when the rice also becomes very shiny, mukula avastham ativartamaneshu, when it has crossed the stage of being a bud, it is no longer resembling a jasmine bud, but it has become loose and it swells up. Ativartamanam, it's enna varnichirukar.
Nice.
See, the observation of Daṇḍi is so beautiful, the way he describes it. And then sankshipya analam, analam sankshipya here is lessening the heat. What she does is she removes the water on top. Sthalya annamandam agalayat, she strains the water using a sthali lid. Sthalya upahita mukhavidanaya, in a manner in which she closes the mouth of the vessel, she keeps the sthali, and then agalayat, she strains the water of the rice. Clear, Arga?
Yeah. So that the rice doesn't fall out, only the liquid water, the rice still remains inside the pot.
The rice should still remain inside. Is that clear? Okay, we'll stop with this. சரியா? தர்வியா அவகட்டே இது கொஞ்ச நேரம் ஆகும்.